So this week, I participated in my first proper game jam, the Fireside Game Jam 2024. This is a jam where you have 9 days, it says 10, but it's really 9 and an hour, where you make a game with a specific theme. And the theme for this jam was
Expand.
which I thought was, let's just say it took me a while to think of a game idea I thought would be good for it. At first I thought of a game where you expand a car every loop of a track that you do. I thought this one would be very interesting, however I couldn't figure out how I would make it fun, and after many other ideas, including expanding a sheep pen, I suddenly have a mostly great idea. So here it is. You are a cultist in 1666 and you need to sacrifice as many goats as you can, accidentally starting a fire however, and then expanding it bigger and bigger until you start the Great Fire of London. However, later on when making it I felt this was a very basic idea, but I was too far to stop, so let's get on to making it. To start off, I made some basic top-down movement, but I made it a bit smoother so that the character doesn't feel too sensitive, and to immediately get started on making with the main mechanics of the game, I made some goats, which you can possess and make them charge wherever you want them to. I then started making one of the hazards for the game, this being the police because, well, you're sacrificing innocent animals. What they do is they chase you until they get close, where they then try to whack you with their baton, and you need to avoid this to not die, obviously. Next on the game making agenda was to create some UI. My plan for the theme of the UI was to make it all look like newspapers. I thought this would give it more of a unique look, and I do think that worked, managing to make my death screen look like this, where the screen fades to grey and makes it look like defeat was sent around to the people of London in the form of a newspaper. Up to this point, I had no, game. So to start getting that done, I started working on goats spawning around the area, and it started off a bit like this. Yeah. And one problem with it as well is that the goats just kept walking into the pentagram all on their own, which took about an hour of my precious jam time to fix. After finally getting that done, I then started creating the main part of the loop for the game, because when you add goats to the fire and make it expand, I wanted it to then start creating different fire-based projectiles, which would then be randomly laid on top of each other as you get more goats, and I did this. So the first ones I made was one where it would shoot in 4 directions, one that would shoot and spiral, and another one that would just lay traps across the floor. My plan was to add enough of these so that each time you died the game felt a little bit different and not so repetitive. I then started working on the fire that the pentagram would create. I had to do this in a way where I could get it to expand without losing the pixel ratio, so to do that I learned how to make a pixel art shader so that I could then make a massive fire sprite and then downscale it and then change the values on it to keep the same pixel ratio. I then realised that the environment for the game looked kinda empty, so I then made it look less empty by adding some bushes, lampposts, trees and a cobbled pathway to make it look like a London park from the 1600s. Now, at this point of the jam, it was the last day. I'd already made some sound effects and added some to the game, however, it was still very quiet and I needed to make some music. However, I've never made music and never even attempted really. So I watched a few music theory videos, like 4 of them, went to the Beatbox website and then started throwing some notes together and I got this, which I am very proud of. The game is now available to play on itch, and at the same time of me writing, recording and editing this video, I have no idea how well it will place in the jam. However, I do know that some people have submitted some very good games, so I hope that I place well. Have a good day and subscribe. Please. I'm begging.